Hello, how are you? Got a question for you. Have you ever asked yourself just how great and grand are Black people? Yeah, like, do you really know how wonderful, how exceptional we are? If that's a topic of interest to you, I want you to just hang out for a few minutes. I'm Wangaza, Michael Bondalay. I'm the CEO, founder of Blacknificent Life Educational Complex, and this is where we showcase lessons of Black achievement as instruction for actually teaching thought principles and action habits for creating the life you really, really want. And one of the things that we do at the complex is we produce this monthly digital newsletter. It is a newsletter that actually provides updates on just how magnificent we are in the world. And so, if you are interested in actually knowing, seeing the evidence, interacting with the indicators that confirm, affirm Black folks and all of our greatness, then hang out with me for a moment. We do these exchanges, this video that you're seeing once a month, or maybe a little more frequently in some instances. But we basically want to highlight one of our products over at Blacknificent Life Digital Learning Complex, and that's a newsletter. It's a monthly newsletter. And well, you know what? Better than me talking about it, let me just share it with you for a moment. Here we go. And so, Magnificent Life newsletter, this is the September issue, 2019. As you can see, it acknowledges the beauty, the power, and the genius of Black folks in a world trained not to see. And what do we mean by that? We mean that once a month, we compile um, articles. Some of it is historic, some of it is current events, some of it is even dated um, information, but all of it, whether we're talking about information about Africans born on the continent, Africans in America, African Americans, Africans in the Caribbean and Europe, wherever we find ourselves, we are about the business of just achieving mightily. And so often we don't know this. We don't understand how great we really are. And so this September issue, which was our inaugural issue, we began our series of 7 articles talking about just the importance of understanding who you are. And of course, it's difficult to understand who you are if you don't understand your lineage, those that from which you have come. If you don't understand that, then anybody can make you think you are the product of whatever they tell you. And so the article we sought to feature that I really want to invite you to take a closer look at is a seminal essay by Dr. John Henrik Clarke. If that name does not ring a bell to you, it's even more reason for you to stick around. He's a resource, a scholarly resource that if keeping your Black mind right is important, you want to know him. And so back in 1997, this article appeared in the Black Collegian magazine, and it's entitled Dr. John Henrik Clarke Explains Critical Value of Africana History to Everyday Black Life. See, if you can't look over your shoulder and know that the folks back home were accomplishing, were just achieving, passed you the baton of achievement on, then it's very difficult for you to just pick it up on your own. Not that you won't, but I'm trying to tell you, when you understand who you really are, great Black folks, picking up that baton is actually not difficult at all. It's what you do. It's what you do. Discerning the beauty, the power, and the genius of Black folks is more easily realized. I'm reading directly from the newsletter now. You see, it's more easily realized when taking a long view of Africana history that includes the massive contributions of Black people to the world. When the last time you read a line like that pointed to the massive contributions of Black people to the world? And unveiling that history will be an ongoing feature of this newsletter. And so this first edition features the seminal essay, Why Africana History? Why? Is that just another discipline to study? Is that just something that is nice to, tuck under your hat and carry with you, not really having a function that serves you from day to day? We know otherwise. We know that it is critical to the understanding of who you are, and that who you understand yourself to be will define your life. It will direct your thoughts, your behavior, your actions that equal your life. And so this is a must-read article for understanding the utility of studying history, as it emphasizes the critical value of the past to understanding the present and preparing for the future. I don't know when it has been more critical that we understand our present so that we can craft the future that we really, really want. Dr. Clarke makes a compelling case in this article that knowing about historic Black achievements is foundational to Black agency, your power, your ability. He identifies the work of other great historians whose scholarship charts pathways to the relentless accomplishments of Black people throughout the world. And so considering, we don't usually hear about these scholars, these researchers, their works, their publications that actually mirror Black greatness, convey that, delineate, having done the research that shows not like an ideology, but like evidence of historical and current day Black achievement. If we don't know that, then we're really selling ourselves short. And there's no mystery why we don't achieve in the way that we really, really, really can. And so in this article, it functions as a resource for nurturing the historically inspired self, the regard for yourself. I don't know if you saw this, but Oprah Winfrey talked in one of her videos just about how she is inspired as she walks out her door every day. She said that she has a picture, a piece of art that reminds her of the sacrifices of her ancestors. And when she walks out of that house, she recalls, we're talking memory here, the function, the power of memory. She recalls as much as she can the sacrifices that were made so that she could be the Oprah Winfrey that we understand her to be today, this great success, okay? And what I'm saying to you is the habits of achievers, of leaders, they leave footsteps. That's a footstep I want you to consider. Remembering how great your ancestors were, how they actually prayed for you and I, called us forth into this world, and allowed us, because of their sacrifices, to stand in this place of opportunity. And it doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing, you're standing in a place of opportunity to reach higher and to be all the more and the best that we've been throughout history. And so then this article invites you to click below and then to access the actual full article. So this is just the Blacknificent Life contextual introduction. Information read without context is more subject to interpretation. And so we give you this introduction as a part of the newsletter, as a part of the pointing to the pathway of informing ourselves of just how great Black people have been, that allows you to have a more precise, a more direct route to your own greatness. About to say amen up in here. You can join me at any point now. Let's just a little bit more. Just a little bit more I want to share with you. Why Africana History? Again, by Dr. John Henrik Clarke. He begins the article by saying Africa and its people are the most written about and the least understood of all the peoples of the world. And this condition started in between the 15th and 16th centuries. I'm going to just zoom in a little bit here so we can see. Hopefully you can see a little bit and you can read along and appreciate with me. It began between the 15th and 16th centuries with the beginning of what's come to be known as the slave trade. Now, the point he makes in this article that I want to underscore is that he talks not just about the colonization of people and nations, of lands, of colonies, quote unquote, in Africa and beyond, but he talks about the colonization of the information. Again, if you understand who you really are and how great you really are and what you contributed and who your grandmother really was, I'm not talking about that, that person that someone wants to describe to you that you might think you're looking at doing these late night infomercials when you see flies flying everywhere, around hungry brown and Black babies. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about who she really, really was. And that's what we do at Blacknificent Life Learning Complex. We actually trace you back through, take you to those times and those stories so that you can activate that memory that serves you. And so if we knew that, we would be different. That's the bottom line. That's the point here. I want to just share two more things before I leave this particular article, and I invite you to come back and circle back and read it, the full length of it, so that you get the full effect. Dr. Clarke tells us that the Greek traveler Herodotus was in Africa about 450 BC. Now, why is it significant? His eyewitness account is still a revelation. He witnessed African civilization in decline and partly in ruins after many invasions. However, he still saw the indicators of the greatness that it had been. And in this period in history, the Nile Valley civilization of Africa had already brought forth two periods of time known as the Golden Ages of achievement. And so, again, don't take my word for it. Don't even take Dr. Clarke's word for it. Let this be a portal. Let this article be a portal to your greater understanding. Go read the article and then check the references and find out more, so that you can speak with authority about the greatness and the genius of your ancestors. And then finally, I just want to say, this article is a must read for another reason. It's because it points out many other of our greats. Among the present day scholars, it reads, writing about African history, culture, and politics, there is Dr. Yosef Ben Yakinen's books and many others. He belongs to the main cultural branch of the African world, having been born in Ethiopia and growing up in the Caribbean. So he talks about Dr. Clarke, but he also mentions W.E.B. Du Bois, George Washington Williams, Sister Drusilla Dungy Houston. These names sound familiar. If not, more reason to come back, circle back. Let this be your guide. Carter G. Woodson, the great historian who gave us Negro History Week that we now understand as Black History Month. Willis Huggins, and his student, John G. Jackson. So there's just a lot of valuable information here that I hope you'll click to. I hope that you'll come to visit with us at blacknificentlife.com. That's www.blacknificentlife.com. Subscribe so that you get your own personal newsletter delivered at your email each month. It's like, what better way to start a conversation? What better way to start a conversation, if even with yourself, like to remind you next time you pass by a mirror, or you glean your image in the reflection of a window, to be able to look and say with authority, I know who you really, really are, really are. I want to go back just for a minute. I know I said we were gonna move forward, and we are. I'm just gonna add a little bonus here, because the second article in the September issue of the Blacknificent Life newsletter, given that the movie about Harriet Tubman is recently released, I want you to know that before the movie, there was a company that, in just an informed and bodacious way, just a grand celebratory way, established itself as the Tubman Rechargeable Battery Company, honoring Sister Harriet in the way that they have. I don't know these people. I've never talked to any of them. Would love to feature them on one of our upcoming podcasts. But so if anybody knows, then tell them to give me a holler back at www.blacknificentlife.com, so that we can hear more about that. That's why we exist. That's why this complex is here, to learn the greatness that we are, such that we can be the greater that is burgeoning, that is waiting, that is being called forth by our times and our conditions. But this article that is included in the September issue of the Blacknificent Life newsletter talks to us about how the phrase, "we can't stop now," is actually printed as a striking quote on the Tubman batteries package. Did you know about this company? Have you bought your batteries from the Tubman Rechargeable Battery Company? This company was started by a number of young people, young men who owned this company, named it after their ultimate hero, the great freedom fighter, Harriet Tubman. One of the men, Sharif Abdul Malik, I'll be waiting for your call, Abdul Malik, also an owner and founder of the online marketplace We Buy Black, decided to act on his growing interest in energy efficiency and his desire to inspire young entrepreneurs. So what did he do? He didn't just talk about it, he walks about it. So he, along with a small group of young men eager to make a positive difference, they created the Tubman Battery Company. Voila, just like that. Well, not quite voila, but they made it happen. The group is focused on getting the word out about these AA rechargeable. So they're going to cost more than your typical batteries that are not rechargeable. They're rechargeable batteries reported to have, listen to this, twice the capacity of the top selling Energizer battery. And to learn more about and purchase Tubman batteries, all you got to do when you're inside the Blacknificent Life September issue of its newsletter is to click to read the full article, and then you can go and be immersed in yet another reminder of what Black folks can do, have done, and we say at the complex what we will do. So listen, there is the opportunity for you. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. I'm showing you this new, this article about this 11-year-old young African-American boy, Sidney Keys, who founded the Books and Bros Book Club. I didn't stammer and I did not stutter. I said book club. Young Black boy, 11 years old, decided he was going to call together other brothers, young brothers, and focus their time and attention on reading, cultivating their minds, expanding their possibilities, their horizons of who they think they could be. Gaining skill that's going to serve them no matter what you do in an educational environment. You got to read well. If you don't read well, if you can't engage the written word, you can fill in the blanks. I don't even have to. You're at a deficit. And so I'm really not going to go into this article. I'm sorry if I piqued your interest, but not really. I want to whet your appetite so that you can come back again. www.blacknificentlife.com. Read the full article. Matter of fact, on each article, with each article, you are given the opportunity to contact the source of the information. And in this case, contact Books and Bros and get your baby, your young warrior, your young king, your grandson, your baby, your nephew. Want to know how to make sure they stay on the straight and the narrow path to success, to achievement? Let them know the community and introduce them to the community of other young men who are on the same path. All right, I could be with you for a while because nothing feeds my mind and warms my heart better than being reminded of how great, how beautiful, how powerful Black folks are. And I hope that you will use these moments of powerful memory to be reminded, and more importantly, be about your business of living a Blacknificent life. Go to www.blacknificentlife. I said that wrong. Go to www.blacknificentlife.com. Again, I am Mwangaza, the founder and CEO of the complex, and I look forward to serving you. You're going to find other good stuff over there, and look forward to upcoming podcasts and again, a number of other products that will be available at the website very soon. Until we exchange again, be well, be great. I'm trying to cut this off. Okay, wait a minute, is it here? Oh, shit. Oh, I know.